Ella's Study Notes, where advanced English meets real-life magic.
You know that feeling when you're standing right at the edge of a forest and you just get this sense that you're being watched? It's like there's this ancient energy in the deep woods, a kind of whisper on the wind. Well, today, we're actually going to listen to those whispers and try to uncover the stories they tell. Maybe it's just the rustling of the leaves, right? Or the way the trees seem to sway together like they're sharing some big secret. For centuries, people have believed that forests aren't just empty spaces. No, they're homes, they're sanctuaries, and they're said to harbor all sorts of spirits, a whole other world living right alongside our own.
But, and here's where it gets really interesting, while some of these spirits might be gentle guardians, others are, well, a little more complicated. The old stories warn us that deep in those shadows, not all of them have friendly intentions.
And that brings us to one of the most famous and maybe most feared figures from Slavic folklore, the Witch of the Woods, Baba Yaga. But as you're about to see, she is not your typical villain. She's something much, much more mysterious than that. Our story begins, like so many great ones do, deep in a forest that's so huge you could walk for days and never find your way out. It's one of those places where the line between the world of the living and the world of spirits starts to get a little blurry. And right in the heart of this forest, there lives a powerful and ancient witch. But it's not actually the witch herself that travelers usually see first. Oh no, it's her home, a hut that seems almost alive. And here it is, the hut's most famous and definitely strangest feature. It doesn't just sit on the ground like a normal house, it stands up and it moves on a pair of giant, magical chicken legs. It can literally run through the forest, turn on a dime, and it basically serves as a gatekeeper to another realm. And, just in case the giant chicken legs weren't unsettling enough, the whole hut is surrounded by a fence made from human bones. It's a pretty clear warning to anyone who might just stumble upon it. You are not in the ordinary world anymore. But here's the thing, you can't just walk up and knock on the door. To even get the hut to face you, you have to know the magic words, the specific incantation to command it. You have to say, little hut, turn your back to the forest and your front to me. Only then will it turn to face you, and only then might you get to meet Baba Yaga herself. Wow, so stories like that are built with really powerful words, right? Words that just carry all this mystery and magic. So for this next part, let's do a little deep dive and take a closer look at some of this vocabulary to see how it helps paint such an incredible picture. Okay, so we started with this word harbour. As a verb, it basically means to hold or be a home for something, often something hidden. So when we say forests harbor spirits, we mean they are the place where these spirits live, where they're sheltered and kept safe, almost like a secret. Next up we have enticed. This word is all about temptation. You see, while Baba Yaga uses fear to keep people away, other forest spirits might try to entice travelers deeper into the woods with, say, beautiful illusions or promises of treasure. It gives you the sense of a pull that's really hard to resist, even when you know it's probably a bad idea. So what happens to the people who give in to that temptation? Well, they are often doomed. This word implies a terrible fate that is now completely unavoidable. Once a traveler gets lured off that path, their destiny is pretty much sealed. They are doomed to be lost forever. It's a very final word. Now for a really interesting word, liminal. It's used to describe a state of being in between places, like you're standing on a threshold. Baba Yaga isn't simply good or evil. She's a liminal figure. She exists right on the border between worlds, between the wild forest and civilization, between life and death. Her hut is a liminal space itself. It's literally a gateway. And finally, the word that really ties this all together, folklore. These aren't just stories somebody wrote down in a book. Folklore is kind of like the soul of a community. It's their beliefs, their fears, their wisdom, all passed down from one generation to the next, almost always by just telling the stories out loud. Okay, so now that we've looked really closely at one specific figure, let's kind of zoom out for a second. Because this idea of a powerful spirit protecting the woods, well, that's something you see all over the world. These are the guardians of the forest. And what's so fascinating is just how universal this theme is. I mean, look at this. On the left, you've got Tapio from Finnish folklore, who's a protector that rewards people who respect nature. And then on the right, you've got Anhanga from Brazilian Tupi mythology, a guardian who punishes greedy hunters. Two totally different cultures, thousands of miles apart, both telling stories about how important our relationship with the natural world is. And that gets me thinking about your own experiences. So here's my question for you. Does your culture have a forest guardian? Some kind of spirit or figure who protects the woods? What are they like? I would honestly love to read about them, so please share your stories in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining me on this little journey into the woods. And hey, don't forget, you can find a full vocabulary cheat sheet with all of today's words down in the description box to help you with your studies. Until next time, happy studying!